Hello and welcome. Today we are looking at simple molecules, and this is for Unit 2 for Chemistry and for GCSE Additional Science. Now here are some simple molecules that we've studied before in a previous video. These are substances whose atoms are held together by covalent bonds. The word molecule means a substance whose atoms are joined together by covalent bonds. There are a couple of features that you need to know about these simple molecules, and those are as follows. The first one is they all have low boiling and melting points, and by low boiling and melting points I've put down some numbers here. So we're talking minus 252 degrees for hydrogen, all the way up to minus 33 for ammonia, and close by to that for chlorine. But you don't actually need to know and remember those numbers. What you do need to be aware of is the fact that simple molecules, substances made of simple molecules, have low melting and boiling points. The other thing we've kind of said already, but the atoms are held together by covalent bonds. And the last thing is all the molecules in these substances have no overall electric charge. So that means the substances themselves cannot conduct electricity. Okay, so that's a sort of overview of the key features of simple molecules. The next section we're going to look at is for the higher tier, and you're more than welcome to watch even if you're not doing the higher tier, but if you are doing the higher tier, it's worthwhile making sure you understand the next part. Now, as a bit of a background before we start talking about that, I just want to remind you that when we have solids, liquids and gases, we need to supply energy to go from solid to liquid and liquid to gas. So if I have a solid substance, for me to make it into a liquid I have to supply energy, and in fact heat energy. And what that energy does is it goes towards breaking or overcoming the forces of attraction between the particles. So if we supply energy, that can go towards pulling the particles apart and changing it from a solid to a liquid. If we supply even more energy, we can overcome the force of attraction even more and change the substance into a gas. Okay, so that's the basic idea of going from solid to liquid to gas, but we need to be able to apply it to our simple molecules. Okay, so here we are with our simple molecules and their low boiling points. You need to be able to explain why they have low boiling points and low melting points. And the example I'm going to take is oxygen. So if we take some molecules of oxygen gas, by now you should be aware that oxygen is made of two atoms of oxygen joined together. So we have the formula O2 for oxygen. But what you should also remember is that the atoms here are joined together by covalent bonds, and the extra thing that you must be aware of is that the covalent bonds are strong bonds. Okay, so this atom here is joined to its neighbouring atom by a strong covalent bond. However, the molecules are also attracted to each other, but the attraction between the molecules, or the attraction between neighbouring molecules, is actually very weak. So this molecule is attracted to this one to this one over here, and so on. But this is a weak force of attraction, and we have a special name for those forces. We call them intermolecular forces. That's a key word. Let me just put it down here for you. Intermolecular forces. So these intermolecular forces between the different molecules are actually very weak, and when we supply heat to a substance like oxygen or ammonia or chlorine and so on, what we are doing is we are overcoming these weak forces of attraction. It's very important that you realize we're not breaking the covalent bonds between the atoms. We are overcoming the weak forces of attraction, and because those forces are weak, that means the substance has a very low boiling point and a very low melting point. Let me just make a note of that key and important point down here. So there you go, I've written out for you nice and neatly. Boiling or melting these substances requires energy to overcome the weak intermolecular force of attraction, not the strong covalent bonds between the atoms. And hopefully you've understood that and you should be able to explain it for yourself. So that's me done for today. Thank you for watching and see you again soon.